Okay. So today is January 5th. I hope it's January 5th because that's what I'm going with. And Ashley and I kind of planned this team call around a video that I actually watched with my fiance. David watches some photography stuff. It's one of his passions. So I just, kind of sit back and watch the videos sometimes, and occasionally I get a something special that I can work with. So that's kind of what happened. Is he was watching a video, and I was just kind of watching along. And this girl, I told Ashley that she's like the Gary Vaynerchuk, like the female Gary Vaynerchuk. She's a social media expert specifically for photography, but like everything she says in this video is about it's leveraging your assets as opposed to feeding into your liabilities. And we're going to watch like a 15-minute clip of it. It's super good. It was like hit home with me, and it was just, I liked it. So you guys get to now like it because I do. So, oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hang on, I'm trying to screen share. It's been a while. Okay. Can you see that? Can you see the girl?
I see it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to stop it right around like 36 minutes.
First in my business, I felt like it was really important to weigh two things. The things I needed to weigh carefully were my assets and my liabilities. My assets were things that I felt I could use to leverage my new business and my new brand, and liabilities were things that I thought were going to potentially hurt my new business, my brand. So in light of full disclosure, we're going to talk about my top 3 liabilities. Remember KIR, y'all? I want you to go home, and I would love for you to list your liabilities, because you don't know how to surface, how to improve those liabilities until you get better, and you're not going to know how to leverage those assets until you know what they are. So liabilities, firstly, I didn't have any money. I was on scholarship at law school. My husband was with a startup company, and I worked part-time at my daddy's church. We had no money. As in our date nights, we would be spending Friday nights, we'd go through the Taco Bell drive-thru, and then we would light a fire. We lived in this apartment that had, it was like a 1920s like bungalow-style apartment, and it had a fireplace. It was not in the best of neighborhoods at all, but Taco Bell in front of the fireplace, very romantic, let me just tell you. So I didn't have any money, so I couldn't necessarily buy the things I thought I wanted. I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't go to a photo school. I had never gone to a photo conference. Frankly, up until I actually made the declaration, I didn't even have a camera. So I'm just saying, like, let's be real. I have no money, no knowledge, and I didn't have a network. It's not like I knew of a bunch of photographers in my community, at my church, people who I spoke to. I didn't have anybody I could ask questions to. So these are my 3 liabilities. Now let's talk a little bit about my assets. What things that I thought would help me build my business? Well, I liked to write. And if anybody's sitting here thinking, how does writing play at all with photography? I'm going to tell you, you're not the only person who thought that. Clearly, I'm stretching here. I'm grabbing at thin straws. I don't have the best technical capacity, but I like to write. Now, somebody asked, how are you going to use it in your business? And I said, I don't really know, but I'm going to find a way to leverage it. Well, the writing has fundamentally changed how I approach my business, because I turned my writing passion into writing about photography. I started my blog, and that is how people found me to begin. My name is Jasmine Star. People think it's like a stage name, and I'm like, no, my mother was a hippie. My twin sister is Bianca Flower, okay? My younger sister, Alexandria Lavender. Like, I mean, my mom just went on with these names. So I feel like my name I could use in a business capacity, and it was unique. So that was an asset. Lastly, I feel like my personality was an asset. Now, I know that my personality is not for everybody. In fact, there are some people sitting in this room with this body language. Okay, I'm not your cup of tea. I get it. But let me tell you something. That's right. That pregnant pause. That's right. I had things that other photographers didn't have. I had just gotten married. That's my target audience. I like the same TV shows prospective brides watched. I'm the same age as those prospective brides. I'm in tune to what the wedding planning process was like. So while I might not be your cup of tea good, you probably weren't going to hire me. I might be more along the lines of who my target audience is. Now, if you're an action sports photographer, you don't need to care what I think about you. You need to care about what those agents are looking for, with the booking, with a photographic cinematographer, whatever that is in your life. You need to care about what they think about you. And if that is resonating, that is your asset. So if anybody's paying attention, my liabilities were directly related to my photography business and my assets directly unrelated to my photography business. I'm going to talk to you about how I leveraged my assets and diminished my liabilities. That's the goal that I would love for us to walk away from today. Because what I realized throughout growing my business in the first 2 or 3 years was that brides choose photographers, not just photographs. And readers choose bloggers, not the blog. Designers, people choose designers, not the design. So if we follow this pattern, if in the course of your business growing, you look and you kind of say, I agree with that to a certain extent. I do choose to buy my car from this gentleman at this place. I do choose to go to this barista at this coffee shop because we choose that there's this connection that we build amongst people because we crave community. If we agree with that, what are you doing to superimpose your personality in your business? And if you're saying, I don't, I'm challenging you to change that. Because remember how we first started? Everybody here likely has a camera, and everybody here likely has the same lens. And if you don't, you can borrow them from Canon as you go and shoot your demos later on today. What I'm saying is too many of us do the same thing. The thing that makes you unique is you. So, having set that foundation, now we're going to talk about the how. I'm going to break this section, break the presentation into 3 things that you can say, this is my homework for when I go home, or if you'd like to do it in class right now, that'd be fantastic. I would love for you to list 3 words. Now, these words are going to be how you're going to measure your business success, and they're going to measure how you approach your brand. I would love for them to focus on you, not your business. So if you are an action sports photography and you want one of your words to be adventurous, and yet you're the kind of person who doesn't like to leave Southern California, don't list that word. Because it's not real, it's not you, and people will see it eventually. Be raw and be genuine. What I want you to do also is that these words are to focus on who you are now, not who you aspire to be. When I first started, I aspired to be professional, proficient, and a leader, but I was none of those things. So that would not make sense for me to write those words down. Now, these words are going to help your prospective clients genuinely talk about you, not just what you do. Because sometimes people would say, oh, I'm looking for a photographer. You may or may not. So it's like, I'm looking for a photographer who's really good with kids. And here's Joe, and you met him here through the PICS ministry at Saddleback, and he says, you know what, Joe is a really good photographer, but he's also the assistant coach to his daughter's t-ball team. I think he would be great for your family photos. Could you just imagine? I'm looking for a photographer, check out Joe. I'm looking for a photographer who's great with kids, Joe, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's a very different endorsement. When people feel like they're attached to who you are as a person and not just your business, that endorsement is powerful. And that is how I grew my business, because the brand you put online essentially teaches people how to talk about you. Now, if the only thing you're putting out online is on Facebook, so blessed to shoot this family session, and then you put 65 images on Facebook. It doesn't say anything at all about you. It doesn't say anything at all about that family. Can you think about 3 nice things to say about that family? Put 3 sentences, that's half a paragraph. And you can also put, so blessed to shoot them, hashtag, like we get it, okay. But can you start doing things that impose your personality into what you're doing? I had mentioned that these words become the barometer of success, and we're gonna get into measuring that barometer of success in a second. So people often ask me, how do you come up with your branding words? I feel a little stuck. Now, these are words that are associated with your personal brand, and it would be awesome if you listed 3 words now, and then you revisited your notes in about a week or 2 so that you could say, you know what? One of these words work for me and the other 2 don't. That's fine, but get into the action of listing words so that you can start honing your focus just on that. Now, sometimes people take this advice very literally. I have been on websites where I click on it and then it rolls in like romantic, and then rolls in quirky or whatever those things. Now, I kind of subscribe to the school of belief. After I got married to my husband, I would walk around and be like, baby, I'm funny. I'm funny. And he's like, if you have to tell me you're funny, you're probably not funny. And that's what I think as I go to websites, and if you have to tell me that you're romantic and you're not showing me that you're romantic by way of your photography, something's amiss. Keep that keep that lodged in the back of your mind. Now, if you are quirky, edgy, funny, silly, and these are some of your words, how then can you capture quirky, funny, silly images? So often, photographers that I've seen, I've been doing this now for 8.5 years, and photographers will say, oh, well, this is who I am. I like Star Wars, I like vanilla ice cream, and I'm really good at chess. And they're like, I can't put that out because brides aren't gonna like that. No, no, no. The wrong kind of bride is going to like the things that you put out online because they're only gonna know what you tell them. Why not own the fact that you like Star Wars? Why not own the fact that you're really good at chess? Because what's going to happen as a result is that you're going to attract the Bobby Fischer brides. Boom. The more commonalities that you have with your brides, the better they think your photos are. Honest. The more they like you as a person, the more they become your champions and want to fight for you in the long run. And please forgive me, there are people sitting in the front row, and I have noticing, I think it's these allergies. I'm spitting up a storm. So please forgive me. You guys are like getting baptized in this front row. I see it, so please know that I'm aware of it. It's very embarrassing. On that note, my personal branding words are fun, fresh, and editorial. I came up with these words because I wanted clients to start describing my work in that way, and I truly felt that they were genuine. When a client leaves an engagement session or a wedding and they said they had fun, good. That to me, I did a successful shoot when somebody tells me they had fun. Fresh. I shoot a lot in different places around the world, but I'm also very centric to Los Angeles and Orange County. My fresh approach is that if I happen to shoot an engagement session, one of 1,023 that I have shot in San Juan, Capistrano, along those train tracks, okay, yes, I know, that's like the place for us in Orange County. And what happens is I don't want to go there and shoot the same poles along the corrugated metal, the same poles along the dilapidated wooden fence. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So fresh means send me the same place 10 times over and I'm going to show you 10 different poses, 10 different ways. Fresh. Challenge myself and let my clients know it's not a repeat. We're going to do something new for you. Editorial. Editorial is something I aspire for. When a bride says that she felt like a model on her wedding day, awesome. When she gets her wedding photos back and she says it looks like they can belong in a wedding magazine, awesome. Anything that is fashion inspired, anything that's driven by editorial work is where I draw my inspiration from. And then if my brides can use it to describe it, I would be honored. I've never spent money on marketing. I started the presentation by saying that. Now I have to clarify, if I had money, I would want to spend it on marketing. If somebody had said, Jasmine, take a business loan for $10,000, we never took a line of credit for my business because I didn't believe in my business. So everything we did, if I didn't have a lens, if I didn't have a camera, I rented it. If I had $10,000, I probably would want to go to a magazine ad. I probably would want to go to a bridal show, but I didn't have it. I simply had to take what I had and make it work. By doing so, it made me personalize every aspect of my business because so often in our lives, unless you came from a very privileged background, all of us at some point or another looked at somebody else and said, that person has more. But what it does is it forces you. There's only two types of people. You look and say, that person has more, that person is better. Then you have two options. Capitulate, say, I'll never get anywhere. Or you say, I see you. I'm gonna match you by two things you can't buy. Me. Are you gonna fight? Are you gonna fight? Or are you gonna fight? I would hope that all of you guys have a little bit of fight in you to say, I'm gonna do this my way. Because what happens is when you personalize your website, when you personalize your Facebook statuses, people feel like they know you. And when they feel like they know you, they want to promote you. Your broken bones, your fractured ribs, your hot mess of it all, they say, I see you and I like you in spite of it all. Here in Southern California specifically, I would look at photographers when I first started and I would say to JD, my husband, I said, they have the appearance of limitless everything. The appearance of limitless everything. They had nicer cameras. They had studios. They had fancy cars. They had sample albums of their portfolio work. They had flat screens on their wall when I was still rocking like the 70-inch, not screen, just TV that protruded from the wall. Didn't have a remote control. These were the things that I rocked, and they said, they have all of that. And the only thing I have is me. And I use it as a crutch when I'm asking you to use it today, saying, I know it works. Don't use it as a crutch. Use it as a stepping stone.
Okay, so let me stop the share. That was like the clip I wanted to share. Now I made some notes based on that. So I know it was like a photography, like she was mainly speaking, well, she was speaking to photographers because it was a photography, thank you. It was a photography summit. So I still feel like there was some things that we, like as coaches, we can take from that. So the first thing was that, you know, she talked about her liabilities were related to her business and her assets were not, but she learned how to leverage her assets. So I'm going to really encourage you to go home, or well, you're already at home. So just do it. Write down 3 things that you feel are your liabilities and 3 things that you feel are your assets. And then, and like she said, your assets don't have to be related to your business. And then see how you can use your assets as a leverage to grow. The other thing that she, please stop, thank you. The other thing that she really made a point of stressing was, you know, she knew that she liked certain TV shows and certain ice cream and certain, you know, styles and things like that. Like, and she knew what it was like to be a new bride, because when she started taking photographs, she was a new bride. Well, basically she had, I think we heard in another video, like it was like a year after they got married, she decided she was going to start photographing, but she knew that she was her ideal customer. Like the things you like, your ideal customer likes, like, duh, you know, I like coffee, so my people probably like coffee. They probably are trying to grow their relationship with God because I share that in my posts, which brings me to the 3 words. So she said, take a time and pick 3 words that describe you, who you are now, that are not related to your business, that you would like it if people explain to you. For me, I don't feel like you have to sit down and say, okay, these are 3 words that I would really like if people explain me this way. The way people explain you kind of come out with you sharing your story vulnerably. So for me, people know that my life is at like a change because I share that openly, where I share that, you know, David got saved and things changed in our house. And I share that so people know that as a family, we're growing closer to Christ. So they know that about me. So being faith-centered is something that can, you know, that would be my word. It came to me through sharing my story. And then like loving coffee, people just know that about me. That's my deal. Not that I want like coffee to be my descriptive word, but whatever. But share your story vulnerably, and your words, I feel like your words will kind of come to you. People are going to choose you before they choose our products. Every coach in the network has access to the exact same products that you have access to. Every coach can pitch on demand. Every coach can, you know, talk about the benefits of Shakeology. But what's the difference between you and all those other coaches? You have a story that's different from theirs. The reason you started drinking Shakeology will resonate with your ideal customer. If you started drinking Shakeology because you always felt bloated and you're like, I've got to do something about this, they're going to be like, well, dang, I always feel bloated. Maybe I should give this a shot because it'll help. You know, for me, I started drinking it, honestly, just because I wanted to. Like, I heard it would help. I tried a sample, and I was like, I like this stuff. I want to drink it. I can't afford it. The only way to do it is be a coach. So my coaches are going to say, I like it. I want to drink this stuff. The only way to do it is to be a coach. You know, you are your ideal customer. So then if people are attracted to you, that means you have to share your story vulnerably. That means you have to put, like she said, you have to put your personality into it. So how do you put your personality into your posts? You talk like you type like you talk. If I talk and say, you know, I type, you know, when I talk to people online. So that was like what I had based on all that. like the big thing I took from it was like they're attracted to you before they're attracted to your product. You know, like she said, people buy into a photographer before they buy into their photos. So it's the same concept. They're going to buy into you as a coach. That's why running free groups are important, so they can see that you care. If being helpful or caring, something like that, is one of your words, then you need to show people that through reaching out just because and saying, hey, I was thinking about you today. How are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need help with anything? Running free groups so people know that you're giving away information, so that when you say, hey, I would really like, I really think that you'd be good for a full-length challenge group or a full-length fitness accountability group. Would you like to check out what programs are on sale this month so you can join us? That's when you've given them so much for free that they're just like, hey, okay, I bought into you. Now I want to see what this product is that you're raving about. So that is what I had. Do you have any questions? You can unmute yourself.
I don't have any questions, but I really liked that, and I wrote down a lot of the same things that you said while she was talking. How do I show people who I am, and caring about what my target audience is thinking, not what everyone is thinking.
Right.
So that's something that I've already been working on for myself, but is a good reminder, especially going into the new year and sort of like getting my own journey back on track and getting myself like back to, where I've been before, is thinking about like who I am right now, somebody who has fallen down and stumbled and backtracked a little bit and is getting back up and doing it over again. Like, that's who my tribe is, like people who struggle, and it's not just easy from start to finish, and they don't just like lose 60 pounds and then keep it off forever and ever, because some people do that and they do great, and that just wasn't my story.
Right.
And maybe one day it will be, but after this, so
not today. It's not.
Not today.
I'm there.
Not today. One day, but not today.
Yeah. That was kind of my thing too. It's like that video, like we watched it just laying in bed the other night. I was like, whoa.
Right.
It was like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, I share, like right now I share pretty openly. But it started making me think, like, is there something that I'm holding back about me, or like something that my ideal audience would relate to? Like Ashley, she's like super great at being like, I love ice cream. I'm not giving it up. I've lost 60 pounds and I'm okay with that,
Yeah.
Like, she's super awesome about that. But I'm like, when I eat bad, like I don't share that with people. I hate telling people like I am not eating on point today,
Mm-hmm.
But my ideal person would probably relate to that. Like, okay, every day is not on point for her, so probably it's okay if once in a while I'm not on point.
Right.
So I thought it was good, even though she was like total photography mode, like it was still really good, like a good message. And that video, like if you, I can post the link in the comments when I post the recording, but if you watch it from start to finish, it's like an hour and some change. And she actually says a lot more good stuff till the end of that video. It's good.
That's cool.
I mean, she's focusing on helping people brand themselves as photographers, but
yeah,
take a lot from it too, because obviously we are our brand. We have to brand ourselves too.
Right. I feel like creating a personal brand applies to any type of small business, whether it's network marketing or like, a more traditional type business like photography or something like that.
Right.
I mean, you have to find a way to stand out, because like she said, every photographer has a camera and they can, buy or rent or borrow the same lens.
Right.
My kids can never open things either.
She has one of those mason jar cups. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we have access to all the same programs as everybody else. We have access to the same supplements, to the same meal replacement shake. Like, what sets you apart is you.
Right.
So I'm going to stop recording this. If I can figure out how.